Today I'm here to report on our annual Climate Action Plan progress report. In the packet you do have our full report, all 50 pages, but today I'm just going to give you a brief snapshot of some of the highlights over on how we're doing with our Climate Action Plan. Our Climate Action Plan was adopted in 2015, and so this is our Climate Action Progress Report on 2017 data. First, on the municipal electricity side, 100% of all of the electricity is sourced from 100% renewable sources through Silicon Valley Clean Energy. So that's all our municipal buildings, our parks, our street lights, everything that the city pays for electricity is now 100% renewable. So that's a huge stride, and we should be very proud that number one, Silicon Valley Clean Energy now exists, and we're able to buy electricity from them. That started in April of 2017, and then also that the city and the council decided that that was important for our municipal buildings to opt up to their green prime level and have the 100% renewable sources. Zero waste, the council also in December adopted a zero waste policy. So now environmental services staff is working on that, and that will definitely help with our zero waste goals and overall waste reduction in the city. We also out here over in the Cupertino Civic Center next to City Hall with the installation of our drought tolerant garden, and that's a good place. We took out a lot of the ivy and some of the turf, and replaced it with drought-tolerant plants. And we're working on signage right now so that citizens can come and check out and say, oh, what plant is this? I'd like that for my garden, and be able to identify it, and we'll have a website that will go with that. So that's really a great water-saving measure that the city has done. It's also a great demonstration. Our city has also a gold level bicycle-friendly business. We've also, down there in the middle, we've added some electric bikes to our bike fleet for city employees to use. They've been using it to get between different cities, so between Quinlan or City Hall or Blackberry Farm for meetings. You can take one of these electric bikes. We also have regular bikes, and we're a bicycle-friendly business. Solar PV, solar photovoltaic capacity, we've exceeded our goal in the city. We had a goal by the year 2020 to reach the 1.5 megawatts, I should say megawatts there, and we're definitely exceeding that. So at some point in the future, we might have to set some new goals, but right now we're doing pretty good. As of late in 2016, our city diesel fleet now runs on fossil fuel-free renewable diesel. And that's diesel that's sourced from a lot of like fats and solids, kind of like restaurant grease type things. It's refined, and it runs cleaner, and it's cleaner and greener in a way. It's not 100% carbon free, still a diesel product, but it's definitely cleaner than regular diesel. So that's a move that was done by the fleet division. And it's been working really well, so that's definitely helping us with our carbon goals. And just to kind of remind you, last year we conducted a greenhouse gas inventory update using 2015 data, and overall between 2010 and 2015 we saw a 13% decrease in our overall emissions. We will do another inventory for 2017 data next year. But one of the questions I always get is, how is Silicon Valley Clean Energy helping us? So Silicon Valley Clean Energy has been operating for a little over a year now, and they just came out with their emissions factor and some of the data. So this is kind of back of the envelope in my staff was able to do. So this is kind of some preliminary numbers that I can share with you today to kind of just let you know. So overall, electricity emissions have gone down about 72%. And then overall emissions would go down about 13% overall. So what that looks like, so before Silicon Valley Clean Energy, those are the emissions associated with just our PG&E load on the left there, and then direct access, which is mostly our commercial customers that buy electricity straight from third-party sources on the grid. And then after Silicon Valley Clean Energy, they have carbon-free electricity, and they're really low carbon, so that kind of brings our emissions pretty low there. So that's a pretty significant decrease. That's the 72% decrease there. And then overall, what it would do to the pie, that the yellow part there is the electricity portion on the left, so that's our 2015. And then on the right is with Silicon Valley Clean Energy existing, that yellow portion shrinks significantly. And then you can see that the natural gas and transportation portions as a percentage increase. So that's pretty much the next place that we'll start focusing our attention on would be the natural gas and transportation sectors. I'm happy to answer any questions. Before I end, I do want to thank the city manager, Brent, for his support of the sustainability division, also his support in helping with the Silicon Valley Clean Energy project and getting that off the ground. You've been a great champion for sustainability and all of our projects in the division, so just want to thank you for your service.
Very good. Thank you very much, Misty. And thanks, of course, City Manager Brandt. Are there any questions from council regarding the report?
Yes.
Councilmember Chang.
Misty, thank you very much for the effort and for the work. You mentioned one on the last your slide. You mentioned about the next one. We want to focus on the transportation, right? How you're going to focus on transportation to cut down the greenhouse gas emission? I would like to know a little bit more.
Yeah, so the transportation emissions, you can see there, that's a pretty significant emission source. So that's kind of one of the next items there that we'll have to work on.
Right.
So a lot of that, as the electricity gets cleaner, then electric cars become more of a viable option. And then, of course, we just need public transit and other things, ways to get people around the city. So that's definitely something that we'll have to focus on.
Okay, so I just want to let you know and let everybody know, since June 21st, the longest days of the year, I give up my car. So I don't have car anymore. Now I'm riding on the bicycle, and I find out there's not a problem with the bicycle. Number one, there's no bike rack in the shopping center. Okay, I couldn't find it. Very hard to find a bike rack.
Okay.
So, and you're so afraid your bike may be stolen, and you don't have a place to even lock it. Okay, and then when I park to visit my friend, there's no bike, and then or someone, and then, so I had to park on the street, and the tree trunk is too big. Even my wires cannot cover it. So I think the infrastructure. I talked to public works director team today that the next one we need to focus is provided more bike-friendly infrastructure. It's all small money, small setup, but it will help a lot. Okay, and I don't know how long I can last without a car, but I'm trying my best. Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you, Councilmember Chang. Councilmember Vaidyanathan.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Misty, for that presentation, and thank you for working with me on that SVC. It was really difficult because we had to inform the residents what they were going to expect and what they would get in return. So thank you to you and your team for working on that with me. I was also very excited with the garden, which is really and one of the things I really was very excited about was you involved the youth in that, so thank you for that. And I see a lot of them coming back and looking at those plants and trying to do it in their own homes. I plan to do the same when I have some time. One of my questions for you is, over the last few months, there have been changes in the rest of the world in how they accept things that come from the United States, especially plastics. How has the team been addressing that, especially when it comes to that's been either that can be recycled or which is also affected by food waste?
Yeah, so China has changed their regulations on which plastics that they'll take for recycling. So our environmental services team under Tim Borden's leadership is definitely taking a look at that, and that's not just us as Cupertino. That's a California and United States wide effort looking at that. I think the messaging is about the same here in the city of Cupertino, and they're looking at different options right now. So I would definitely still encourage everybody to continue to recycle and continue to follow what Recology says to do with the recyclables, and that the city let everyone know that the city is really working on making sure that we have a solution for that.
So maybe some education to the residents through our various social platforms that we have would be good.
That's a great idea. Thank you.
Okay. Councilmember Councilmember Vaidyanathan, or anywhere? Okay, great. Thank you very much. Councilmember Sharf.
So I've run into the same issue as Councilmember Chang with bike parking. Do any cities have ordinances requiring businesses to provide bike parking, and can we do something like that in Cupertino?
We actually have ordinances that require bike parking, but they're for new construction. So historically, we didn't, so all of our older strip malls and the like, the requirement didn't exist, so they weren't built.
Right, so we can't go back retroactively and,
Well, if we
Do
pay for
that.
them or help fund them, I'm sure.
right, I mean, it's not a lot of money, really. It's
No, I think it's
a minuscule
It's a
amount.
good program. I think we'll be looking into whether we can implement that, especially in the commercial areas.
And how many buildings, public buildings are LEED certified that the city owns?
We don't have any that are LEED certified. The Environmental Education Center meets LEED qualifications, but we didn't go through the LEED certification for that building. But that is a passive solar design for the McClellan Ranch Environmental Education
I
Center.
guess we can't get City Hall to be LEED certified. That would be a stretch.
We could probably go through and
If you're
look at the
willing to spend
checklist.
enough money to rehab the building, you probably could achieve that.
There is an existing building certification, so we could reach for those.
Okay, great, thank you.
Great. Well, thank you very much. Appreciate all the work that's been done. Certainly with Silicon Valley Clean Energy, that's something spearheaded by our council and put forward to the county as well as many jurisdictions in our local area. That was a very impressive amount of carbon emission that was reduced. And, with respect to bike transit, I 100% agree. If we have opportunities to go ahead and improve out our bike infrastructure, we should absolutely take them, no matter where they happen to sit. And, thank you for bringing that forward to our council. And we look forward to even more progress being made in the subsequent year. So thanks so much.
Mayor, I want to, if I can add one more sentence.
Sure, Councilmember Chang.
Vice Mayor Rod is not here, but for the Silicon Valley Clean Energy Choice, Vice Mayor Rod really put in a lot of effort. He really working with other city, and I also want to let the audience know that City of Cupertino residents pay less than PG&E rate. Okay, about 6%. I serve on the alternate board member post. Clean Energy, SVCE. So I know the rate is lower, about 6% lower than the PG&E. So we are getting a pretty good deal. And then we get the more cleaner environment, and then we pay less. So if you have friends living in other city, haven't joined Silicon Valley Clean Energy, ask them to join. Thank you very much.
Okay,
And then-
great.
Yeah.
Thanks very much, Councilmember Chang. And it is absolutely something that we've managed to do to take those targets and even on a statewide level far exceed those goals that are ambitious in the state of California. So thanks very much for all the efforts.